Hello students, good morning everyone. Today's our 7th class science topic is about general chemistry. Chemistry is the branch of science which deals with the composition and properties of matter. Chemistry is the branch of science which deals with composition and properties of matter. It is the branch of science which deals with composition and properties of matter. Now, what is matter? Matter, anything that occupies space and has some mass is known as matter. Anything that occupies space and has some mass known as matter. The space anything occupies is called its volume, and the amount of matter anything that contains is called mass. Anything that has some mass and occupies some space is known as the matter. After that, charged particle in matter. Charged particle in matter. Charge is produced by rubbing two particles. When we rub two objects, then charge is produced in both the objects. For example, glass rod or ebonite rod rub with silk or fur. Glass rod or ebonite rod rub with silk or fur. Then there is a production of charge takes place. They got electrically charged after rubbing the particles. By the activity, with the help of activity, when we take glass rod, ebonite rod and rub it with silk or fur, then what we observe in this activity? Either both repel each other or both attract each other. In this situation, both glass pieces repel each other and both silk cloths also repel each other. Okay? After that, states of matter. States of matter. Generally, there are three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. There are three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. A solid is that thing that has a fixed mass and a fixed shape. Solid substances are those substances which have a definite shape and a definite volume. Solid, fixed volume and definite shape and mass. For example, board, book, chalk, wood, etc. These are the solid substances. After that, liquid. Liquid is that substance which has a definite volume but not definite shape. It occupies the shape of the vessel it contains. When water is put into glass, then it takes the shape of glass, or water is put into the basket, then it takes the shape of the basket. So liquid substances change their shape. After that, gas. gas substances has neither a fixed shape nor a definite volume. Gas neither fixed shape nor definite volume. For example, oxygen, carbon dioxide gas spread completely in whole environment. Okay. After that, atom and atomic theories. Now, we should discuss about atom and some atomic theories. An atom is the smallest particle of an element. An atom is the smallest particle of an element that take part in a chemical reaction. An atom is the smallest particle of an element which can take part in a chemical reaction. The size of an atom is indicated by its radius. Size of an atom is indicated by its radius, which is called atomic radius. Radius of atom is called the atomic radius. And generally, atomic radius is measured in nanometer. Atomic radius is measured in nanometer. 1 nanometer is equals to 10 raised to power 9 meter. 1 nanometer is equals to 10 raised to power minus 9 meter. Hydrogen atom is the smallest atom of all the elements, which has atomic radius of about 0.37 angstrom. Atomic radius of hydrogen is 0.37 angstrom, and 1 angstrom is equals to 10 raised to power minus 10 meter. Okay. After that, how big are the atoms? Can we see them? Atoms are so small in size. So small in size, we cannot see atom by just our naked eyes. To imagine about their size, if millions of atoms are stacked one above the other, the thickness produced may not be equal to the thickness of the sheet of the paper. So small size of the atom has occurred. Due to the small size, we cannot see the atom with the help of our naked eyes. We can see the atom with the help of the microscope. Okay. After that, some symbols of the element. A symbol is the representation of the name of the element. What is a symbol? Symbol is the representation of the name of the element. For example, hydrogen has H symbol. Hydrogen H, helium He, lithium Li, beryllium Be. These are the symbols of the some elements which are given in the table. You have to learn these elements in a particular sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 20 elements. They are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number. Okay. After that, symbols may be derived from the first letter and another significant letter of the name of the element. For example, potassium. Potassium has symbol K. Iron has symbol Fe, etc. Now we will discuss about Dalton's atomic theory. After that, a scientist whose name is Dalton gave his atomic theory, and discuss about the some basic properties of a atom. Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton put his atomic theory on the basis of some assumptions, and some postulates are given as: matter consists of small individual particles. First postulate of this theory is matter consists of some small indivisible particles. Consists of small indivisible particles called as atom. Matter consists of some indivisible particles called as atoms. All atoms of an element are identical in nature. All atoms of an element are identical in nature. All elements of an atom are same. Identical means same in nature. The atoms of an element are different from the atoms of any other element. Atoms of an element are different from other elements. Atoms of an element are different from other elements. A compound is formed by the combination of two or more elements. Compound is formed by the combination of two or more elements in a simple ratio. For example, water, hydrogen and oxygen, two elements are combined in a simple ratio, that is 2:1. Atom take part in chemical reaction. Fifth is atom take part in a chemical reaction. And last postulate is atom can neither be created nor be destroyed. Atom can neither be created nor be destroyed. We cannot make or break the atom. We cannot make or break the atom. These some postulates or assumptions which are given by scientist Dalton in his Dalton's atomic theory. On the basis of these assumptions, merit of this theory is that it explains the law of conservation of mass. Merits. What are the merits? Law of conservation of mass. And also second is the law of constant proportion. Law of constant proportion. And atom of element take part in a chemical reaction. This is true till today. These are the merits of this theory. After that, demerit. The atom is no longer supposed to be indivisible particles. Means, for a long time, we cannot consider atom is the smallest particles or indivisible particles, because after some time, there is a further division of atom takes place in proton, neutron and electron. Atom breaks into proton, neutron and electron. These are the further smallest particle. He could not explain that why do atoms of the same element combine with each other. Dalton does not explain about the point that how atoms combine with each other. Okay, students, after that atoms of the may not necessarily be identical. Same element may not necessarily be identical, such as isotopes. Isotopes are those elements which have same atomic number but different mass number, such as 1h1, 1h2, 1h3. These are the three hydrogen elements: hydrogen, deuterium and tritium. All these are same element but they have different mass number, so known as the isotopes. Similarly, atoms of the different element may not necessarily be different in all respects. That is isobar. Isobar are those elements which have the same mass number. For example, organ calcium 18, 40, 20, 40. Both have the same mass number, that is 40. So these elements are known as the isobar. This is all about Dalton's atomic theory. First, he gives some postulates. After that, on the basis of these postulates, we discuss about the merits of this theory. And after that, what are the demerits of this theory? Means limitations, kamiyan, khamiyan, which we see in this theory. Okay, students. After that, now we will discuss about modern atomic theory. Modern atomic theory. First of all, in this theory, structure of atom. An atom mainly consists of two parts, that is, one is the nucleus and other is the extra nuclear part. In structure, we consider generally two parts, nucleus and extranuclear part. Nucleus is situated in the center of the atom. This is a atom. In the center of the atom, this is the nucleus. All the protons and neutrons are situated in this nucleus. Protons and neutrons are present in the nucleus, so entire mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus. Whole mass of the nucleus is concentrated in the nucleus. Whole mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus due to the presence of proton and neutron in the nucleus. Okay? The overall charge of the nucleus is positive due to the presence of the positively charged proton. Due to the presence of positively charged proton, nucleus is positively charged and neutron have no charge. Protons and neutrons are collectively known as nucleons. Protons and neutrons are collectively known as nucleons. After that, in extranuclear part, the remaining part of the nucleus is known as the extranuclear part. In extranuclear part, electrons are present which revolve around the nucleus. This is the extranuclear part, in which electrons revolve in their orbits or energy cells or energy levels. What is the composition of the atom? Atom consists of electron, proton and neutrons, which are the fundamental subatomic particles. An atom consists of proton, electron and neutron, which are the fundamental basic parts of the or subatomic particles. Now, proton. Discovery of a proton is done by Goldstein. Goldstein is a scientist. He discovered the proton. Proton is the positively charged particle and charge is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Okay. Electron. Electron is discovered by J.J. Thomson. Electron is discovered by J.J. Thomson. Also, electron is a negatively charged particle and charge is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. After that, neutron. Neutron is discovered by Chadwick. Neutron is discovered by Chadwick and neutron has no charge. Means zero charge. Okay. After that, atomic number. After that, atomic number. Atomic number of an element is equal to the number of proton in the nucleus. Atomic number is equal to the number of proton present in the nucleus. Atomic number is equal to the number of protons present in the nucleus. Atomic number is equals to number of protons present in the nucleus and which is equals to number of electrons in the extranuclear part. This is further equals to number of electrons present in the extranuclear part. Atomic number is denoted by Z. For example, aluminium has atomic number which is written in the base of the element. In the base we write atomic number of the element. In this case aluminium has 13 atomic number and this is represented by Z. And in uppermost part we write atomic mass of the element. We write atomic mass of the element and which is shown by A. So, representation of an element, X is the element, Z is the atomic number and A is the mass number or atomic mass of the element. Each element has a unique atomic number. So, in this case, Z is equals to 13 means atomic number, number of protons, also number of electrons are equals to 13. Okay? Z is equals to 13 means proton is equals to 13 or electron is equals to 13. After that, mass number, A is equals to number of proton plus number of neutrons. Here, A is equals to number of protons plus number of neutrons. Okay. Also, proton is equals to Z. So, atomic number is equals to Z plus N and N is equals to A minus Z. From here, we can calculate the number of neutrons. Number of neutrons is equals to mass number minus atomic number, A minus Z. Okay. So, for example, example, in case of lithium, which has atomic number 3. Lithium has atomic number 3. So A is equals to 3, Z is equals to 3, P is equals to 3. Also electrons are 3 and mass number is equals to P plus N. Number of neutrons. Mass of the lithium atom is equals to number of neutrons is equals to mass number minus atomic number. Here mass number is 7. So N is equals to 7 minus 3 is equals to 4. Number of neutrons are 4. Okay. After that, our next topic is about electronic configuration and their significance. Electronic configuration and their significance. Bohr distribution of electron in the energy cell is known as the electronic configuration. Distribution of electron in energy cells is known as the electronic configuration of the elements. Here, different number of electrons are present which are distributed in the various energy cells or energy levels which are given by scientist Bohr, K, L, M, N. These are the energy levels or energy cells. Bohr-Bury scheme for distribution of electron in various cells. In Bohr-Bury scheme, distribution of various electrons. Maximum number of electrons that present in a given energy level is equals to 2n square. From this formula we can calculate the maximum number of electrons which are present in a given energy cell or level. Here n is the number of energy cells 1, 2, 3, etc. For example, in K cell, this is the first energy level. 2 into 1 square becomes 2. L cell 2 into 2 square 8. M cell 2 into 3 square 18. N cell 2 into 4 square 32. These are the electronic distribution of electrons. The outermost energy cell in an atom cannot have more than 8 electrons, but this Bohr-Bury scheme failed after some time because the outermost energy cell cannot contain more than 8 electrons. Outermost cell, energy cell or valence cell that not contain more than 8 electrons. So, the distribution of electrons is somewhat different. Now, cell is found as soon as the outermost cell acquires 8 electrons. Therefore, 2, 8, 8, and so on. This is the electronic distribution of electrons. For example, in case of potassium, potassium has 19 atomic number. So 2, 8, 8. and remaining one electron is present in the last cell. This electron which is present in the last cell or also in the valence cell is known as the valence electron. Is known as the valence electron. 1, 2, 3, 4. In fourth cell, the valence electron is 1. That is in L cell. On the basis of this, we can write easily the electronic configuration of each element. For example, in case of a carbon, carbon has 6 atomic number. That is in first cell, we fill 2 electrons, remains 4 electrons which are occupied in next cell. What is the significance of this electronic configuration? Also, we can write this electronic configuration with the help of a pictorial diagram. For example, in case of hydrogen, only 1 electron is present. In case of helium, there are 2 electrons and first cell contains maximum 2 electrons. After that, in case of next element, we consider lithium, which has 3 atomic number. So electronic configuration is K, L, M and 2 remaining 1 electron. So in first cell there are 2 electrons. Next cell only 1 electron is remaining. This is the electronic configuration pictorial diagram of any element. We can understand the chemical reactivity of the element. With the help of this electronic configuration, we can easily understand about the reactivity of the element. When the outermost cell of an atom is completely filled, then the element is unreactive. And these unreactive elements are known as the noble gases, such as helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. They have their last cell completely filled. So, they are unreactive or very less reactive elements. An atom can get the noble gas electronic configuration if its last cell is not completely filled by the different ways, that is by loss of electron. Second one is by gain of electron, and third one is by saving of electron. Saving of electron. Valence cell and valence electrons. The outermost cell of an atom is known as the valence cell. The outermost cell of an atom is known as the valence cell. In case of lithium, this is the K cell, this is L cell. L cell is the valence cell which contains 1 electron, and this 1 electron is known as the valence electron. Okay students, the electrons present in the valence cell known as the valence electron, and remainder of the atom, that is the nucleus and the other electrons, is called the core of the atom, and electrons present in other than valence cell are known as the core electron. So in case of lithium, there are 2 electrons are known as the core electrons. Significance of valence electrons. Valence electrons of an atom are responsible for the chemical reaction to take place. Only valence electrons are responsible in a chemical reaction to take place. Valence electron also determine the combining capacity of an element. Elements having the same number of valence electron in their atoms possess similar chemical properties. Okay, students. Now, how we calculate the valency of an element? Generally, valency of an element is less than or equals to 4. If an atom has 4 valence electrons, then its valence is 4. Or less than 4